Okay, this is a multiple alleles that controls the coat color of rabbits. And then it goes on to explain how the dominant allele is C, but there's a bunch of other alleles that can actually influence the alleles, the C allele. So there's C, and then also if also present on the chromosome is the CH allele. So there's two alleles, there's C and CH. If that happens, the C will be dominant over the CH, and so you will get this full color. And the same thing here, you can see the C is going to be dominant over the C Himalayan. So if you have both of these, still this will be dominant. You won't even know you have that second one. Whoops, switched places. And then again, if the rabbit has the C and then also has a chromosome that has C and the little sub A allele, you won't know. So here's where it starts to get in. So big C, we say in the dominance hierarchy, if you have just the C allele without any of the other alleles present, it will be the dominant one. Okay. So that's pretty interesting. But now, what about these other? I mean, like we saw C chinchilla, C Himalayan. So there is an order of dominance. And then, of course, C albino is going to be your most recessive, the weakest. So if you have to get a chinchilla color, you're going to have this both C with the CH and a second chromosome with both alleles C and CH. Okay. If you have CH, C and CH, and then C with the H, the Himalayan. So again, chromosome 1 has both the capital C dominant and the chinchilla allele, and chromosome 2 would have the dominant C and the Himalayan. Or if you have the combination big C and the chinchilla with the albino, you're going to have a light gray color. And so how do you get this cool little Himalayan, which is like white with just the black extremities? Well, that would be pure multiple allele with Himalayan, or the Himalayan multiple allele with the albino multiple allele. And then how do you get the pure albino? Of course, you have to have two purely recessive. If you have any of these other multiple allele combinations, you'll mask the pure albino recessive one. All right, so I needed to get a picture because I like to see the actual fur colors, and this makes more sense. If this helps you, grab a picture or just, sketch it out. It's not necessary, but I like it. Okay, let's address some of these questions. So bear with me. This Google Drive is with the subscripts is not very friendly sometimes. All right, indicate the genotypes and phenotypes of the F1 generation from a mating of heterozygous Himalayan coat rabbit with albinos. So they want to know what will happen if we mate a heterozygous Himalayan coat rabbit. So that's right here, heterozygous, right there, with an albino coat rabbit. So that's right there. So that's our parents, right? Parents equal. And again, heterozygous, so one of each. And I'm going to put this X here so it will not do that little weird thing later on. Paste. And we're going to cross that with the albino. Okay. So what will that give us in regards to the F1? Well, we can analyze this pretty easily. The only thing that albino can donate in the gametes would be the CA multiple allele combination, but the Himalayan has two different choices, right? So big C, well, so I'll just try to copy and paste. I'll try it. Big C with H could end up again. Oh, well, you know what it's going to look like. They're all going to be like this, right? Big C and A. Copy. We'll see if this actually turns out nice or not. I don't think it will. I think it's going to give me super small. Oh, and it did. Okay, so they're going to end up like this, right? Or the other option is this guy will end up, this gamete, C albino, will end up with C albino. And so you'll end up with 50% of the offspring looking albino. I'm going to do this. See if I can put it down here. Okay, so those are your two choices for F1. And it's going to be 50-50, right? Because it's really just up to this parent. 50% chance of passing on the C. Himalayan or 50% chance passing on the C. albinism. So again, let's make sure we're addressing genotypes would be this. So that's the F1 genotypes. And then the F1 phenotypes would be 1-to-1 Himalaya, and 2-to-1 albino. So half are going to be all white and half are going to be white with the dark extremities. Okay. I've deleted the picture to give me a little bit more room. Let's try to tackle letter B here. So the mating of a full color rabbit with a light gray rabbit produces 2 full color, 1 light, and 1 albino. Okay, already it's a 1-to-2-to-1. So you've seen this many times. That's normally from the cross of 2 heterozygous parents. And how do we know that? It's because to get an albino, you need both of these. So that means one parent had to give the combination of C albino and the other parent had to give that. So that's a pretty big clue. But still, let's just go ahead and break this down. So parent 1 is big C, we don't know, and probably big C, we do know, A, right? So I'll just make it look like, normal. And then the other parent is C, we don't know, and C, albino. Okay, so I'm going to fix this one too. All right, so those are our parents. So not 100% sure, but again, we do have some other clues. The one is a full colored rabbit, so it's okay. So it's going to be one of these 4, so that's not very helpful. And the other one is light gray. So it's light gray is, oh, well, look at that. We can already say the gray is this, right? I mean, that's the only choices of genotype for the gray. So beautiful. So we really only have one thing to deduce, and that is the full color one, right? And the full color one, we at least know one of the contributions, right? One of the gametes. Sorry. Okay, there we go. So that's what we know about the parents. Parents equal. So what we do know about the offspring is that 1-to-2-to-1 combination. So I'm just going to throw in that Punnett square because that just makes sense to me. Okay, and let's go ahead and put in the parent we're not sure. I'm going to see if this will work for me when I highlight this. Please center everything. So we know parent 1, we're just trying to figure out this part, right? And we know, I'm pretty darn sure it has to be the C albino combination gene. Okay. And then again, we know the light gray has to be this because we like to think and we can do this. All right. So that is the parents, and I'm going to clean this up because it's kind of bothering me. So give me a second. All right. Darn you. Would you please center? Okay. And then let's make this not so weird. Make it a little more like a square than a table. Okay. So again, we know it's that 1-to-2-to-1. So I'm already going to throw in the albino because I know that one of the offsprings is albino. And I know that one of them is albino and one is light gray. Ooh, one is light gray. So that is this, right? Light gray. Chinchilla and albino can allow for a light gray. So copy, paste. There's the from that, and then so there's my light gray. Copy, paste. All right. So what does this mean? Well, this means I'm left with C chinchilla, C albino, and yep, I'm okay with that. That will give me those two full color ones that I was looking for. So this is simply this, right? So C chinchilla gives me a full color coat, and C albino gives me the second expected full color coat. There we go. That works. So indicate the genotypes of the parents is what they wanted. There you go. This is the parents. So we can focus on C. So the Punnett square is gone. Chinchilla colored rabbit is mated with a light gray rabbit, right? The breeder knows that the light gray rabbit had an albino mother. That's a nice little clue. Indicate the genotypes and phenotypes of the F1 generation. Okay, so chinchilla color rabbit's pretty easy because this is it, right? This is the only possible genotype for chinchilla. And then so we'll throw that down there. And then the breeder knows the light gray had an albino mother, so that's helpful. So the light gray had an albino mother, so we know that that must be the parent of the gray, or the genotype of the gray. Okay, move that over, X. Of course, you're going to be little, but that's okay. So that's the parents, which is great. So now we can use this to determine the F1 generation. You're more than welcome to do a Punnett square, or you could simply analyze. It looks like the offspring is going to be based on the light gray rabbit because the chinchilla only has the CCH, whereas the light gray has two options, 50-50 shot of gametes from the light gray rabbit. So I'm just going to skip the Punnett square and just go to the F1 analysis. The F1 generation from this mating is going to be either CCH, and CCH. So again, to show you how that would work, I'm going to do it this way. Paste with this. So that's one possible outcome for offspring. Or again, this could be the gamete that fuses with one of these. And so you could end up with and yes, I know I could copy that whole parent, but I just want to make sure you understand that half comes from mom, half comes to dad. So here's the other possibility for the F1 with then the albino C. All right, so that's your F1 genotype. What does it look like? Again, it would be 50% would have that chinchilla color and 50% would have the light gray. That's really it for that one. So I'll put that. So chinchilla. No, I'm not going to worry about the font because it's driving me crazy. And light gray. Okay. So moving on to a test cross. Okay. So a test cross is performed. What does that even mean? Well, it means you have a genotype that you're going to cross with a known recessive genotype. And the only way to know for sure is to use the fully recessive albino rabbits in this case, because that's your truly recessive phenotype. So you're going to do a test cross. I can already just pull this out. Test cross means you're going to cross it with the recessive individual. Okay, so a test cross is performed with a light gray rabbit. So the albino will be test crossed with the light gray rabbit, because the light gray rabbit, we're probably trying to figure out, is it this or is it this, right? So I'm just going to copy. That's why we're doing the test cross. We don't know. We're trying to figure out, and I'm just going to throw that in here. Which one is it, right? That or that. Okay. And the following offspring are noted. They end up, after the test cross, getting 5 Himalayan-colored rabbits and 5 light gray rabbits. Indicate the genotype of the light gray. So in other words, is the light gray this, or is the light gray this? All right, well, let's think about it. How am I going to get a one-to-one? Put it here, and I'll throw in the X. So there's my gray, and I'm going to cross them with my test cross. Is it this or this? Well, if you get 50% Himalayan color and 50% light gray, you can pretty much rule out this, right? Because if it were a heterozygous, you're going to have some albino babies, right? You just are. If it's a carrier for albinism, cross with an albino, you're going to get some albino offspring. And there weren't any produced. So it must be this. This must be the light gray rabbit genotype. And that's the answer to that.